Let's say that you're all excited to dig into your new Reese's peanut butter pumpkin you just bought, and you rip open the package and you're expecting to see this cute little, adorable little jack-o'-lantern pumpkin Reese's cup. But what you actually find inside is something that looks like it melted in your glove box 2 Halloweens ago. Well, at least it looks nothing like the package. And that was enough to send one person straight to court. No joke, Reese's actually got sued because their peanut butter pumpkins didn't look like the picture on the package. It's not a joke, it's an actual lawsuit. Welcome to True Court Tales, where courtroom chaos gets the attention it deserves. We talk about the bizarre, the unhinged, the sometimes serious, and sometimes even heartwarming courtroom moments. If it happened in court, we're probably talking about it. All right, so today's case is the Reese's peanut butter pumpkin packaging lawsuit. Say that 5 times real fast. Anyway, it's a case about candy not matching the actual package it comes in. So here's what happened. Reese's releases their seasonal pumpkin edition peanut butter cups every fall. And you've probably seen them. They show up on the shelves during Halloween or near Halloween. And the front of the wrapper actually shows this perfect little jack-o'-lantern on there. It's really cute. Now, if you've never seen these before, you'd probably expect that what's inside is going to match what's on the outside packaging, or at least you might expect it to somewhat resemble the outside packaging. And really, it doesn't need to be a perfect match, but you kind of expect it to resemble that, and not really a pumpkin that somebody sat on. But one woman in Florida decided that she was not going to laugh this off. She was not going to let this go because her pumpkin did not match what was on the packaging, or at least match in her eyes. It didn't match. So she was going to take this to court. Her name was Cynthia Kelly. And on December 28th, 2023, she filed a federal lawsuit asking for $5 million, claiming that Reese's misled her. She didn't sue just for herself either. She asked the court to make it a class action lawsuit, hoping that everyone who bought the misleading Reese's candy could all join in. In her complaint, Kelly didn't limit it to just the pumpkins. She went after the entire seasonal gang. So basically everything that Reese's turns into a holiday shape. For this lawsuit, the particular Reese's products at issue included
Reese's peanut butter pumpkins, Reese's white pumpkins, Reese's Pieces pumpkins, Reese's peanut butter ghost, Reese's white ghost, Reese's peanut butter bats, Reese's peanut butter footballs, and Reese's peanut butter shapes assortment, snowmen, stockings, and bells.
Her argument was that the packaging showed detailed faces, carved expressions, shaded eyes, and mouths. But when you opened up the actual candy, none of that was there. It ended up being just a plain amorphous chocolate blob. She insisted that the packaging was false advertising and said in the complaint that it was materially misleading. She also said that she never would have paid for it if she'd have known what she was actually getting. The suit even cited YouTube videos of people opening the candy and talking about how disappointed they were. And one person even said, quote, "We got lied to," and another person called it, quote, "deceptive." Side note here. One year I was cleaning out my purse and I found one of those little individually wrapped Reese cups, not the little tiny mini ones, but the actual full-size Reese's cups. And let me tell you, I might as well have found like $5 in an old coat pocket or something because I was so excited. I personally love Reese's peanut butter cups, and I don't care what they look like. I don't care if they're smashed, and it was smashed because it was in the bottom of my purse, but you know what? I was super excited. Anyway, moving on. So Hershey pushed back hard on this lawsuit, and they argued that no reasonable person expects a chocolate ghost or a pumpkin to look exactly like the cartoon image that is on the wrapper. They pointed out that packaging includes disclaimers labeling the imagery as, quote, "decorating suggestion," and they emphasized that nobody claimed that the candy was actually unsafe or tasted bad, and that the issue was purely visual. They also made the point that this was still the same candy inside, the same peanut butter, the same chocolate. Nobody got scammed out of flavor. Now, when it came to proving deception, Hershey's lawyers kind of said, if somebody's buying candy for the artistic detail, then that's on them, not on us. The product was exactly what it claimed to be, just maybe a little less cute and Instagram ready. Now, as for what happened in court, Let's just say that the judge didn't exactly buy it. So this case went before a federal court, and the judge wasn't really buying the idea that this was some kind of grand candy deception. There weren't any dramatic court outbursts or anything like that, no viral court moments for this one, and nobody held up a smushed Reese's peanut butter cup and screamed Exhibit A or anything like that. But there was some strong pushback. The court actually pointed out a few key things. So first, those quote decorating suggestion labels, they matter. The judge basically said, if your packaging tells you it's just a suggestion, you can't really act shocked when what's inside doesn't exactly match the photo shoot. And second, the plaintiffs couldn't actually show any harm. Nobody claimed that the candy was dangerous or defective or that it even tasted bad. And as far as economic damages goes, we're talking about a couple of dollars worth of candy. So the court ruled that there just wasn't enough to prove any real legal injury. On September 20th, 2025, the case was officially dismissed. Judge Roy Dalton Jr. said that the claims didn't meet the legal standards and that a reasonable consumer wouldn't expect the kind of detailed carvings shown in the marketing images to appear on mass-produced pieces of chocolate candy. So there was no settlement and no compensation. And as far as we know, Reese's didn't even have to change their packaging. And I just bought a package and it looks to be the same because it still has a little jack-o'-lantern picture on the front. So anyway, Cynthia Kelly, she walked away with nothing. And this one really got people talking though. And here are a few reactions. One headline said, quote, Florida woman sues Hershey for $5 million over Reese's pumpkins with no smiles. And then someone from Reddit's shrinkflation thread said this, quote, chocolate pumpkin shapes are a small thing, but false advertising is real. And one YouTuber reviewer who was actually cited in the lawsuit summed up consumer disappointment. They said, quote, Reese's, what are you doing? Look at the picture on the packet. Then you open up the packet and you're presented with that monstrosity. A Miami Herald article also noted outside commentary from one advertising attorney calling the suit, quote, whimsical marketing taken too literally. And I learned that there are some similar types of cases, and here are just a few of them. So there was a Burger King case where a guy sued because a Whopper looked bigger in the ads than it did in real life. And the judge actually let that one move forward. Apparently there's no ruling yet, but it's still cooking. There is a Welch's Fruit Snacks lawsuit where people said that the packaging made it look like they were getting more gummies than they actually got. And that case eventually got dropped. So basically, Cynthia Kelly was not alone in this. In the end, though, I think people aren't just mad about the candy or the food. They're mad about being sold one thing and then handed something else. And I have some thoughts as well. So on one hand, I think it's a cash grab. On the other hand, I also get why there's this fine line between false advertising, and I know everybody is just sick to death of being scammed, and paying more for less, especially when it comes to food right now. I mean, people are just angry about the price increases and the price keeps going up and we keep getting less and less. So I get that. Now, I wouldn't be the person that is going to sue over the difference in how my peanut butter cups look. I mean, I've been disappointed with food before, looking a little bit different than what I thought it looked like, but not enough that I would actually go out and sue. And here's a weird story. I remember one time I was in Chili's and this lady that was sitting behind us, she was so angry that her food that came out to her on her plate did not look like it looked in the menu. And I don't really even know what to think about that. And I'm not sure how different it looked on her plate than it did on the menu, but I just thought that was, I don't know what to think about it. But I also will say that I don't think the general public know about food photography and all the things that go into that. I know because I do food photography, not to a huge extent, but I do some of it. And there is a lot that goes into it. But at the same time, I understand wanting your food to at least resemble the packaging or what it's advertised to be. Oh, and another thing, we went to the grocery store yesterday and I saw that Pillsbury have these cookies here, these pumpkin cookies. And look, they have a picture of the real pumpkin cookie here. And I actually did bake them and they do look quite similar to this. So I don't know, but Reese's, maybe you should reach out maybe to Pillsbury and just get a little bit of advice. Just a suggestion. All right, so let me know in the comments what you think. I know we've probably all bought things where it just looks different than you expected it, and maybe you were disappointed in that. But the real question is, did you feel like it was enough to sue someone over, or to sue someone for $5 million over? Should there be a line there? What is that line? Well, that's all I've got for this video. Thank you for watching. This has been True Court Tales. Court is adjourned.